YouTube. What I got in this box right here is quite possibly the largest waste of money that I have spent in a long time. What I decided to do was, because I have no horizontal growing space at Morningwood, I wanted to investigate hydroponics, which allows me to grow vertically. So I bought this kit, and when I saw what was inside, I was really upset. But basically, inside this box, it's a complete kit to start your own hydroponic growing setup. The only thing it doesn't include are these 10-foot poles that you need to mount the whole thing on, which these are like $4 at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's not a big deal. But inside the box, there's 4 sets of these guys. And this is these are really about the only unique piece in here that you kind of have to find, although you could probably figure something out yourself. It's just a styrofoam box that's got a set of holes in it, small drain holes, and then one big hole in the middle for the pole that they're going to sit on. These are kind of neat because they have little indentations in them that allow you to stack it so that they drain into themselves. If I can do this. And then what you're gonna plant into the corners, and things will grow out of them. So 4 sets of those. Then it comes with a couple bags of perlite. That stuff's dirt cheap. Some plastic tubing. What's nice though with this, it does come with the fittings already attached on the end. And then this is going to be the water supply to the hydroponic setup. pH test kit with pH up and down. Some various fittings that you need. These become, you see what they're for when we get to that part. I already read ahead. Comes with a couple bags of bio nectar. Four pieces of PV tube, one for each of the stands. There was a thing of Epsom salts in here, but I lost track of it. And then there's a couple bricks of cocoa corn. So that's what comes in this box. Oh, there's also a pump. Where did I go with the pump? There's a little tiny pump that comes with this. This is a submersible pump. So, the other thing it doesn't come with is the container that holds the water that you're going to use to provide the nutrients to the system. And then this pump goes in the water, and it's presumably going to connect to this right here and shoot water to my whole system. So I'm going to go ahead and build this. And my plan is I'm going to take a couple of the solar panels that I got sitting on the garage that aren't doing anything at the moment. I was going to take those up to Morningwood, but I think for the summertime I'll just use them to work on this hydroponic system. I got a cheapy little 400 watt AC inverter that's part of a jumpstart kit that I've never used for anything. This guy right here is only 20 watts, so it will be no demand on it at all. So I'm going to set those 2 solar panels up on top of this shed, and then I'm going to, I got a little charge controller coming, $15 charge controller, and I'm just going to use that and a cheapo battery to run this system. So I'm hoping I'll be able to completely do it without plugging into the house, and see if I can't grow some really expensive vegetables. You'd shit if I told you what I paid for this thing, so I could just kick myself. Anyhow, get her set up and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll be growing some delicious vegetables. They better be good. So the pole goes down through the middle of the containers. There's a little flat plastic piece, and this is what holds the containers up. And this goes over the pole, and that's going to rest against the ground. Flat piece. containers go down on top of that. Now what I have to do is, this is supposed to be driven into the ground 14 inches, and then I'm going to need another foot sticking up. So I got to do a little cutting on this pole. One kind of clever thing is, if you're going to do like I do, and I'm going to put this up against this wall and you don't have, you know, sunshine all the way around it, you can spin this so that you can get the plants even sunlight. So that's kind of clever. The kit comes with this bolt that you stick into the end of the tube, and then you use that to drive the hammer against so you don't destroy the end of your tube while you're pounding it into the ground. And then when you're done, you take this bolt and you throw it in that can in the garage with all the other bolts of odd sizes. That is never the correct size that you need for anything. Alright, the directions didn't call for it, but since I don't live here by myself, my quality of life improves if this looks nice from the house. So I'll go ahead and I gave it a shot of a white paint on the top of the pole where the galvanized part was showing. So that's pretty nice. It kind of blends in there decently. Doesn't stick out at all. Pretty happy with that. This is my bag of cocoa coir, and what does it say? Premium age and composted for 24 months. That's a long time. Anyhow, I did the first bag already. I wanted you guys to see this stuff. It's crazy. It is so dense. It's like a board. What you have to do is put it in water. I'm trying to get my knife retracted. You got to put it in water and let it soak, but to get it in the bucket, I got to break it up a little bit. So I got to take a screwdriver and just bust pieces off and stick it into the water. That's Alejandro. He likes smells. So according to the directions, they recommend you put 25% perlite to 75% cocoa coir. I'm just going to go ahead and mix those up, put them in these pots, and start some planting. Okay, here's a couple early lessons learned. Don't put your growing medium in these containers, mix it up, and then try to plant in it because it's too small. So you'll end up dumping it out. Just put it in a bucket like this, mix it up. You know, I don't think it has to be that exact. And then put it in here as you go, because it's really hard to get 4 things in this pot if the pot's already full of dirt. Already grown plants, and I'm putting them into these pots. I have to wash the dirt off, so I got my dirt bucket. I rinse them off, and then I stick them into here. And yeah, that's a pain in the ass. I would recommend putting these in as seeds and trying to grow them. It would be so much simpler. You know, I'm just kind of trying to speed the process up, but yeah, it's hard to put a big ass plant in here, and especially a couple of those have some pretty big roots. Anyhow, it'll be fun. little slots where they get connected get dirty, so you kind of have to clean them out. So this is what I got planted today. This actually holds 80 plants if you plant every single corner. That's a lot. What I put in today, this tall guy on the right, that's a blueberry. Put some flowers in just to make it pretty from the house. This is really kind of an experiment, so I'm just doing it to see if it works, and if it looks nice and makes some fruit at the same time, that'd be nice. Strawberry. And then got a tomato plant, and I think that's a pumpkin right down there on the bottom. And in the back there's a cucumber and another strawberry in the back. I think that's a red pepper, another red pepper, some strawberries, that's a lemonade blueberry, so we'll see if that turns into anything. Some more flowers, some more strawberries, jalapeno pepper right in the middle there. Down the bottom, I think that's another pumpkin plant. So if both these take off, I'm gonna be swimming in pumpkins. It'd be a bitch to mow. Another blueberry. You need a couple different kinds of blueberries so they pollinate. I got broccoli growing. Well, hopefully growing. And then I got a whole set of things I haven't touched yet. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow is pick up some seeds. I'm gonna pick up some lettuce, some different kinds of lettuce, and a spinach or something, and put those in there so I can pick green salads hopefully soon. Okay, here's my water hose coming out of the shed and down the line into my pots here, and this is the little drip line, and I just used this tool right here, and it actually is pretty simple. You just poke a hole into the thing and that tube goes right into it. I don't know how it seals the water. It doesn't look like it's in there that tight, but we'll see. So I took two of the 68 watt panels that I was using on my travel trailer and moved them back here to the shed. So that's what I'm going to be using to power the system. The pump's only 20 watts, and I don't know what the little timer unit takes, but can't be that much. So I thought I was going to scam out of this pretty decently money-wise. I'm just using this cooler that we're not using for anything. That's going to be my water storage, and there's the pump inside there, and then I got to add the nutrients to it. And then I got this jump starter that I had for years, and it comes with a 200 watt inverter, which should have been plenty to run a 20 watt pump, except for it doesn't turn on. So it's pissing me off. Everything works on it except for that inverter, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out, which means throwing more money at the problem. Here's my power lines coming in, and there's my water hose. I hope this pump has enough oomph to pump it 3 feet in the air. That's why I got it sitting on top of these tires here. This is the shed where we keep tires. So it's only got to lift it a couple feet. I think I should be fine. We'll find out. Alright, I solved the problem with my inverter. I have a little tiny one here. It's hard to see, but it just plugs into the outlet on the power pack here. So I'm got DC in. This is actually the power cord that I cut off of my 12 volt or my 24 volt fridge, and that's going into this little cheapy charge controller. So I'm putting 20 volts in and I'm getting 14.1 out, and it's pretty cool. Now I got my pump in here. I'm just gonna hit the auto override and it's pumping. As you can see, I'm getting just a wee little bit of water out of there, which is kind of what I want. Slow trickle in. And something I didn't realize at first, but it makes sense if you think about it. This water line that's coming down kind of needs to be at a gradual slope, so that this far tube is at the bottom of the hill. Before I didn't have the poles pounded in. This end was up a little bit higher than everything else, and the water flow coming out that tube was like way less. So the one down here on the left was getting the most flow, and it filled up, and you can see it's dripping already, and these over here are not dripping. So ideally what I want the happen is the flow to be equal, so I'm not wasting nutrients right into the ground.